Hello everyone, welcome back. Good morning. It's very cold. You'd think with the sun here it'd be a little bit warmer, but it's a very cold spring morning here at the Great Miami Wetland Mitigation Bank, and this is my first time here actually. I got the whole place to myself for the morning. It's a relatively secluded kind of area of town, and it includes various kinds of habitats like grassland, savanna that I'm kind of pretty much in here right here. And then some different kind of tracts of woodland and such, and then of course it's all in kind of the wetland ecosystem there, as the name suggests, of course. But about 360 acres of this wetland, this mitigation bank along the Great Miami River, were basically donated to the local park district here, and then the remaining 180 or so acres of a former golf course were included and added to this entire property. And so it's my first visit, and I'm just kind of check out the place. Really looking forward to it. Focusing mainly on the birds today. Traveling light with my wildlife photography setup, or any kind of bird photography. So I got my Tamron 150-600 big telephoto lens here. Got the Canon EOS 80D, and then just some basic Nikon binoculars. These are 10x42 magnification. They're the waterproof, fog-proof, everything of that sort to just help me when I'm outdoors here, of course. And then obviously this camera to film and vlog as well. So should be a nice morning out, and I'm hoping to see some early kind of spring birds as we're rolling into migration slowly but surely here. I'm definitely thinking with this grassland habitat and the very savanna-like prairie and meadow, I'm thinking there might be some good opportunities for some smaller songbirds, and specifically some kind of sparrows. And I'm thinking some different ones maybe today. Hopefully I get some photographs of stuff that's not, maybe some lesser common species that aren't, let's say, song sparrows. Maybe some, I don't know, maybe some chipping sparrow photos. That'd be a nice one. That's one I actually don't have any photos of really, but I've seen plenty of times in suburban habitats and neighborhoods as well. And yeah, just gonna check out the place. Got red-winged blackbirds, other common stuff like mourning doves and whatnot. Other than that, there's a nice body of water that I'm gonna check out probably here soon. And I've been scanning it with my binoculars and telephoto lens here. I did see a pair of ducks. I believe they're only mallards though. And I'm gonna see what else there is. But there's, for an early morning like this, when the birds are more active as the day starts, there's a lot of activity, lots of different bird calls I'm hearing, both familiar and ones I'm not too familiar with. And it's just a matter of picking apart which ones and just kind of replaying them, checking them out on my phone or any kind of field guide of any kind of sort. And then yeah, just learning pretty much birding as we go here today. But I'm looking forward to hopefully getting some photos to take home as well. So I'm really looking forward to this visit. So let's get started. Tell you what, laying on the concrete like this, I'm just so used to laying on dirt and mud, and the grass and everything. Alright, so to round up kind of so far the experience here, it's been about an hour and a half here, and I've fortunately got to photograph quite a number of species here, mainly in the kind of the grassland areas here and the surrounding tree lines as I walk this kind of concrete path here. Just kind of check out the place. It's very nice actually. It's very bird heavy. I think so far, double checking, I think I got about 14 species, which is pretty nice. Photos, I've actually gotten a handful of decent ones overall. There are actually some pretty good ones, I think. Lots of white-crowned sparrow action. I've been seeing tons of them, just perched in the tree lines, on the ground, both on the concrete and in the grass, floating about in kind of the thick brush and the side of the trees here and all that. And so I've been seeing a lot of those. Got quite a handful of photos of those as well. Got a very nice look at a female brown-headed cowbird. And the females, they don't have the brown head, as the name would suggest, like the males do. But they rather have a more kind of muted color palette for their plumage and everything. And so I got a nice image of one kind of higher up in the treetops. So I mean, it's not eye level, unfortunately. And I actually got one from my lifer list, actually. Now I'm thinking about the brown thrasher. And the thrasher is a type of kind of like a mimic mockingbird type, but it's slightly larger than robin, which at first I thought was a robin, hanging out in this tree right behind me here. And it kind of dropped down to the ground level there, and then I took focus on it. I actually switched to video mode to get some B-roll on the telephoto lens here. And I noticed, immediately I saw the yellow eye, which pretty much gives it away as being a brown thrasher. At least the mature adult individuals have that yellow eye that develops as they get older. The juveniles don't. And so yeah, it was a nice little, kind of brief moment, and then it just kind of flew back in the thick brush behind the tree there, which is pretty much their habitat of choice, is the foresty kind of edges. It's a good, nice habitat for them. I was kind of expecting it, and I'm really fortunate to get a few decent photos of it, more documentation than anything kind of real artistic or that high quality of a photo there. But it was a very nice moment. There's another bird I can tick off the life list and for the checklist today as well. And so besides those are probably pretty much the three main ones I think. Think of off the top of my head. See, looks like it winds through. There's a fork in the road here, and it winds through all the way that way as well. So I might loop around. Like I said, it's my first time here, and there's no real trail map that I could find online or elsewhere. So I'm just kind of follow this path, see where it takes. And hopefully it takes to that body of water that's all the way over there. And then as well as the kind of grassland meadow over here. Maybe we'll see some meadowlarks and some more sparrows would be great as well. One little bit of a minor difficulty I'm finding with photographing these sparrows, namely the white-crowned sparrows in particular, is they're all white chests. Just means that you really have to meter the photo properly. So with this bright kind of sunny blue sky day, it means that exposures are kind of off the charts a little bit here and there on the histogram, and it means that you can blow out highlights pretty easily. So the all white chest that these little tiny sparrows have means that you simply have to you adjust and meter for that bright white, which could put at risk of dropping out the rest of the background into a little bit darker shade of exposure. But I've been finding that's just a little bit of minor inconvenience, that's all, but it's nothing that I'm not used to photographing in previous trips at other places. But had a close encounter with two deer, white-tailed deer. They're actually running towards me, which is pretty awesome. So I got to see that little whole spiel, but then they kind of just ran off to the side over here, so I really didn't get a moment to really properly photograph them. But I was actually shooting some B-roll of some birds once again, just kind of down here, and I captured on the audio as well as I heard it audibly a wild turkey call. I'm thinking, I keep scanning with binoculars, looking around before I really press on, but yeah, I heard it. It's just only this one isolated kind of bird call. and that'd be a nice bird for the life list. I don't see where it could be at, but they're so big that, yeah, I'm just kind of anxious to go forward now. I don't want to scare them off. I really want to see them and get to photograph them, but yep, I guess I got no other choice but to press on. See if they're actually out there or not, but I definitely heard it. So. I just want to take a real brief moment here and discuss some abstracts, just to, just kind of make a change of pace here, just for a brief moment while the birds are just kind of, settling in for the day, in the middle of the day, really. But I took these abstract photos of some creative blurs, some ICM, intentional camera movement, and for the settings, pretty typical of abstract photos like this, or at least the ones I take for my, photographic style. So I did the smallest abstract you get, which is, in this case for this lens, would be f/22, and then I kept the shutter as slow as possible to introduce that camera motion that you get from hand holding it and shaking it or swaying it any kind of direction you want. And so I did about 1/15 of a second or so, kind of going down as far as 1/10 of a second, and really not increasing it too much over that, because then it would just show too much of the teasel, and I definitely want to keep the colors and the swirls and the straight lines. I want to keep it all in a very abstractual sense, where it's almost so far removed from realizing it's actually this little plant here. But I feel like they turned out pretty well. Kept it ISO 100 as well, which just made a nice exposure for what you get with these. And I feel like the results turn out pretty well. Mainly doing side-to-side swaying, horizontal motions overall. Really wasn't looking to include the sky detail, but then I did try that. And that actually looked pretty well. It worked out, I think, just with the green kind of understory of the foliage that's been growing here in spring. So I feel like overall they look pretty well. All the small collection of images I got really with that. And so right now, actually, I hit a dead end before I took those images, and now I got to go all the way back. I'm a little bit off the ways from the main trail, or at least the concrete path of this former golf course that I mentioned at the beginning of the video here. And then yeah, I'm already at, in birding terms, I'm already at 27 species, I believe, which is very, very good for me. It's a very good day, and probably one of the best ones I've had overall, and at least in species count and individual count. So now I'm probably not going to get too many other different kinds of new finds for today, at least in the birding realm of things, but there's still that body of water at the beginning, so there might be a couple of waterfowl, or even egret, any kind of wading species, herons, maybe a gull, probably not, but you never know with bodies of water like that. But it is during the spring migration where those kinds of birds are starting to really come back. While waterfowl migration is still kind of, yeah, it's slowly leveling out, but there could definitely be a rarity or two, I think. Maybe some kind of choice duck that could be up in that water. So, and then we'll pretty much conclude the visit for there. Alrighty, so we arrived here at the kind of smallish ponds, the two bodies of water. There's a larger one by the roadside over here, and there's a smaller one that is used for catch and release fishing. So I accidentally spooked it looks like a pair of blue-winged teal. That was really unfortunate because they're just literally a couple feet away from me, and I could have gotten a nice photograph. But they're obscured by some brush that was near the edge of the pond over here, and so unfortunately I didn't get it really too good of a photographic moment there. But there's a lot going on here. Looks like I'm going to end the day with about almost 30 species, probably a little bit more than 30. Once I kind of check out all the photos and make sure everything looks correct identification wise. But yeah, about 30 species. That's really good for an average visit like I did here. And yeah, it's a nice body of water. I could definitely see migratory waterfowl coming in on and off as the season and migration goes, both in spring and fall here. But I think I'm going to wrap up the video here. But it's been a great place. I'm really going to be looking forward to checking this out in future visits, and I hope you do too, because it's a beautiful location. The way they converted this golf course, this former golf course, into this very beautiful conservation area and basically practically wetland. And there's a blue-winged teal. A male one, actually. They just landed all the way over there. Anyways, I might get a photo of that, see if I can. I don't know if I can get over there quite. We'll see. But anyways, yeah, leave the video at that. This has been Great Miami Wetland Mitigation Bank. Until next time, guys, make sure to get out here. Thank you.